and welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I am pre-filming so many videos, so you're going to unfortunately have to get used to seeing me look potentially like this for a really long time. I am trying to pre-film because I want to make sure that I have a lot of videos ready to go for when the baby gets here, so just in case I can't film, I at least have something to post for you. So I've got a lot of things that I plan on sharing and doing within the next few days of video filming. Today is August 22nd. I'm not due until September 9th, but we'll see. I'm going to the doctor this afternoon, so we'll have to see what's going on. Again, you probably won't see this until probably next week because I'm gonna post it next week, but you know what I mean. I'm just trying to get you some content. This is book haul part 1 because I did just place an order through Barnes & Noble for their book haul sale. But I wanted to just I got 5 books. I figured I'd just make a separate haul for that when that came, just in case something fluky happened over the weekend and I go into labor, and I wanted to make sure that at least these got to you. So I've got 3 book of the month books to share with you, so I might as well start with those. The first one I chose was one that I've already read, and that is Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I've collected all of her books. This is probably one of not my favorites of hers, but I also read it as an ebook, so I always get a little nervous sometimes that ebooks kind of can sway my feeling towards a book. So I would like to reread this at some point, but I need to kind of forget about it first and then try it again. This is about a woman who ends up becoming a nanny for this family. They live in this not an antique house. They live in an old house that was definitely flipped over to have all these technological advancements, and she's there to be this nanny, and things start going a little weird, and she's trying to figure out what is going on. There's lots of twists, there's lots of turns. I think that looking back on it, I feel like I need to reread this again and give this another shot, but obviously I'm obsessed with Ruth Ware and needed this for my collection. Then this is another book that both books I've been kind of seeing all over Instagram and Goodreads and things like that. So definitely they're starting to get hyped, and I'm getting a little nervous because I don't do well with hyped books. But I grabbed The Whisper Man by Alex North. I've heard this book is terrifying, so I'm a little nervous. Pastor told me that I should start reading it during the daytime, so that way, just in case it is super scary, I have some time to get away from it before going to sleep. I don't even know what it's about. All I knew that it was a thriller. I guess 20 years ago there was a serial killer that abducted a whole bunch of people, and they called him the Whisper Man when he was finally caught because he would whisper in their windows at night. And I guess it's 20 years later, and now another boy vanishes, and it seems very similar to the Whisper Man's motto. I don't know. Sounds terrifying. And this cover is stunning. It's been one of those books that I've been I want to read soon, but I keep putting other things in front of it, so hopefully I'll get to it at least by October. Then I grabbed The Gifted Squall by Bruce Halsinger. This is actually from the month prior, so this was actually one of July's picks, but I waited because it didn't sound like something that I absolutely had to have, and there were other books that I had in mind that I really wanted for July 1st. And then I kind of heard a little bit more buzz about this book after the fact. So then I was like, you know what, maybe I am kind of interested in it. It's super, long though. It looks fatter than it is. It's only a little over 400 pages. 450-ish, but it feels like it's 500. This follows a town where I believe that these people are trying to get their kids to, pass these tests or something like that. To get into this school, and I heard that it's being compared to Big Little Lies, which I love, so if it has a similar dynamic, I think I will really enjoy this one. My pre-order for August came in, and that was Making a Play by Abby Glines. Oh, I just realized technically Murder Funding by Gretchen McNeil was also a book that I got this month, and I accidentally put it away already, but I got that one on pre-order as well this month, as well as Making a Play by Abby Lyons. This is the 5th book in the Field Party series. I'm hoping at this point it's starting to wind down. They seem to be getting a little bit smaller. They're really quick, fast-paced reads about these football players in this small town and the dramas that they're going through, and they sometimes have a hard-hitting topic. It sounds like there's a student who is deaf in this one, and I don't know about the football players. He must have something going on too. Both characters typically have something going on. And it's usually a romance. They're quick, fast-paced reads, but I definitely feel like the series has kind of run its course. So I'm hoping that this is probably going to be the last one, but you never know. Then I went, and you've already seen that I've read this, but I got The Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz. This is the first book in the Descendants series. They follow the books and the movies, and they follow the Disney villains and the princesses and all that. So far I've read this one, and I've watched the first movie, and then somebody told me that I need to read the next 2 books before I could watch the next movie. So there's Return to the Isle of the Lost, and then there is Rise of the Isle of the Lost. So I have to read book 2 and then book 3 before watching the next movie, and then there's the 4th book that just recently came out that I then can watch the next movie, if I understand correctly. I also love these covers. Like, these backs are really pretty. So I'm excited to eventually get to these. I kind of went on one of those things where I was like, oh, I could definitely finish this before the summer's over. Summer's almost over, and I haven't picked these up yet, but it's okay. I'm just glad to have them in my collection. I'll get to them at some point. I went to my library bookstore to donate a whole bunch of books, and while I was there, I decided to take a peek to see what they had, and I found 2 books while I was there. One has been on my wish list forever. I don't know why it's taken me this long to pick it up. I'm not necessarily crazy about this cover. I like the hardcover better. When I was in DC, I looked for this book, and they didn't have it in any of the DC places that I went into, but this is DC Trip by Sarah Benacasa. And this is about a teacher who, I guess she had like kind of a rocky first year teaching, and now she's going on a DC trip with a whole bunch of students. And it says on the back, the adult book about high school you never knew you needed. So it sounds like it could be interesting. As a teacher, I would never take kids on a trip to DC, that's for sure. Granted, I teach 3rd grade, but still, I've heard horror stories of teachers who have to take their kids out of state, and I don't know. But it sounds like this could be a lot of fun, and I got it for $1, which makes it a lot easier. So if I don't actually like it and it ends up being too cheesy, then I got it for $1, and it's not a big deal. And then I grabbed That Night by Chevy Stevens. I also got this for $1. Chevy Stevens has been an author that I have debated picking up a ton. I see her all the time, and I'm like, maybe I should, and then I don't. Well, actually, it said her. Yeah, it is a her. But I always leave it behind. And then I just felt like this was the sign. I just needed to just pick one up and try it and see what I think. So I grabbed this one. I don't know too much about this one. I think it's about a girl and her boyfriend who were convicted of a crime and sent to prison when they were in high school. And now it's like years later, and she's being released and on parole. And I believe that she's like trying to adjust to being back out in the real world. And I have a feeling that she didn't actually do the crime that she went to jail for. So I'm intrigued. And then I went to Target this past weekend, and I apparently thought that it was a really great idea just to buy books because I felt like I needed to. Like I said, with baby coming in September, I really don't foresee buying anything in September besides my pre-orders and my book of the months, because she's going to be my entire world at that point for that whole first month and adjusting. So I feel like I just needed to get like a couple more books, like that buying urge out of myself. And then, so that way I'd be all set for September, and then maybe I could buy something else in October when my birthday hits. We'll see. So I grabbed 3 books at Target. This was also before I knew that they were going to have that Barnes & Noble sale, so like I probably wouldn't have done both, but it's what it is. So I grabbed Never Tell by Lisa Gardner, and I feel so stupid because this is actually the 10th book in a series or something like that, but nowhere on here does it let you know that it's a series. So I like feel really stupid that like I had no idea. Like it probably like, I don't know. I had no idea it was the 10th book in a series, but this cover just like sucked me in. I don't know if it's like just like the colors or what, but like I just had to have it. And then I was reading the back and it sounds like a guy was shot at home. And not only was he shot, his computer was shot, and they find his pregnant wife holding the gun. And so when this person like arrives at the scene, they recognize this woman. Her father, I believe, was killed, like, and it was an accidental death too. So it's like, is this one accidental death too many? And it sounds like it could be really interesting. So I'm hoping to like it. I've been told that I can read this without reading the other 10, but that would happen to me. This other book has been on my wish list for a very long time, but I kept hearing mixed reviews and I kept getting really nervous. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to suck it up. I'm just going to get it. And that is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This is a YA novel. And I've heard that it is similar to The Breakfast Club. I believe these people like go in for detention and then somebody ends up dying or something like that. I think they have like an allergic reaction and they're trying to figure out like who could have done it. I believe that there's actually a sequel that is coming out to this as well. I don't know. I just figured it could be fun. It's YA. I could read it really quickly, and if I like it, great. If I don't, then now I know, and I don't have to keep wondering about it. And the spine is really fun, too. This whole cover is just, like, gorgeous. And then the last book that I have to share with you today is a book that I have been kind of hemming and hawing and debating if I really wanted to read it because the synopsis sounds terrifying. And that is The Chain by Adrienne McKinty. And this is about a crazy world where somebody's child gets abducted. And then you get a call saying, you will get your child back after you abduct another child and convince that family to go kidnap another child. And if you don't do that, your child's going to die. What? I've heard amazing things about it, though. Like, everybody who's read it has, like, raved about it. So it definitely sounded like something that, like, I wanted to read. But it's still slightly terrifying because that synopsis sounds scary. Especially being pregnant right now myself. I'm like, what would I do if that was me? And just, that sounds terrifying. But it sounds like something that is perfect. Going to be the suspense thriller that I definitely want. So we'll have to see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will hopefully see you guys really soon. Bye, everybody.